Reading can be a difficult thing. Choosing the right book can be even more difficult. There's a lot of people that don't like reading. There's a lot of people that find it difficult to get through a book. The numbers on people that actually read are staggering. And the numbers on people that actually read a book is even more staggering. It's like 10% of people that start a book get past the first chapter. And the percentage of people that actually implement what's in the book is even smaller than that. So let me tell you a quick story about my own personal experiences reading books and how you can choose the right book for yourself. So I was a terrible, terrible student in school. I don't mean bad grades, D's and F's, things like that. I was terrible in a sense that I never really put the work in to do the assigned readings or works or studies that we were supposed to do. I just kind of did the bare minimum because I had other things I wanted to focus on, primarily sports and working out and going out and, being with friends, so on and so forth. So I was never very good at doing assigned readings. And I developed a terrible relationship with reading, with learning. And it wasn't until I graduated college in 2013 and I go to work for somebody who was in professional baseball for 35 years. And I was having a conversation with him one day, and it hit me like a bolt of lightning. And we weren't even talking about reading. We were talking about professional baseball players. And this guy had been around the likes of Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza and Hall of Famers and all of these great baseball players. And we were having this conversation. He said, "Sam, the best baseball players I've ever been around are the most intelligent." And he didn't mean book smarts. He meant they were the most intelligent in terms of their expertise, whether it was their defensive position, whether it was offensively hitting. And he said, the way that you can download the information from the most intelligent people, from the best people, one of the greatest ways is reading books. He was always recommending books to me, and it started to light this flame, this fire of like, oh man, like books can help me bridge the gap from where I am to where I want to get to. Books can help me accelerate my progress so much faster, and it can do the same for you. It can do the same for you. We've got to be careful not to make the same mistake that I made, though. So I get this idea, this spark to start reading more, and you can see there's a lot of books behind me. And I start reading and reading and reading and reading and reading, and it's a major mistake I make that I hope you don't make the same. That I start reading books, a lot of them not even relevant to what I need at the moment. Let me give you a perfect example. I was freshly out of college. I had student debt. I was still living with my parents. Wasn't making very much money. And I started reading books about money and finance and investing. And there's a part in a book by Warren Buffett that says something along the lines, not the exact quote, something along the lines of the perfect investment strategy won't work for $1,000 bank account. Meaning, I was reading books and I was trying to learn about investing and finance and all of this information about money, and I didn't have any. So the lesson to be learned is don't read about things that aren't going to serve the challenges and the obstacles and the problems that you have. Now, obviously, those lessons can be used later in my life, but the way you get the most out of a book is actually by implementing what is in it while it's fresh in your mind. But anyways, that's one major tip for choosing the right book. But it leads to the three major ways that you can choose the right book. So number one, it's got to solve a problem for you now. Meaning we all have challenges, we all have obstacles, whether it's motivation, whether it's inspiration, whether it's you want to read a book. I've got multiple books on speed reading or just learning how to read a book. There is literally a book. It says it's somewhere along here. I'll have to find it. It's how to read a book. Think about it. We were never taught how to read a book past third or fourth grade, right? We were never taught how to upgrade our reading skills. So if we're still reading books using the same strategies that we use in third and fourth grade, yeah, we can technically read the book, but are we getting the most out of it? Probably not. So learn and read books that are going to solve a problem for you now. The second tip I have for you guys is it's got to be easy to consume. So if you want to choose a book, make sure it's easy to consume. Make sure it's easy to read. There's a lot of books up here where in the past I would, force myself through them, where it's like the paragraphs were long and bulky and maybe the font was, difficult on the eyes, or everything was just bunched together too much and there weren't many eye breaks, and it was difficult to read, and it's like the stories weren't very good, and sometimes the language is just, some authors try to make things way too complex. It's got to be easy to consume, because if it's not easy to consume and we're just forcing our way through it, we're not going to get much out of it. The third tip on choosing the right book is there proof? Is there proof from testimonials? Is there proof from the information in the book? So are they sharing proof within the book of the information that they're sharing with you? Are they showing proof that it works for other people? There's a lot of books where they just pull stuff out of the sky, or they pull a lot of theory from some statistical studies or some scientific studies that sound good on paper, but is there proof of it actually working in reality? So, number one, choose a book that's going to solve a problem for you now. Number two, it's going to be easy to consume. Number three, there's going to be proof. And then I'll give you a bonus tip. Bonus tip is for audiobooks. Find someone that's reading the audiobook, whether it's the author or somebody else reading the book, that has a interesting voice, that's not going to bore you, that's not going to make you want to pierce your ears out. So there's the 4 tips, 3 and a bonus. So hope it helps. If it did, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel. We'll see you on the next one.